Right, I'm out and about, and I thought, do you know what? I had a few questions about the drone, that footage I put up of the nighttime drone stuff, and I thought I'll come somewhere safe and I'll show you a few of the features of the drone that I use. It's not very good visibility today, but I'll be able to see wherever I have the drone, I will be able to have eyes on it, which is the safest way to do it in my opinion. And so I'll pop that up. If you give us a few seconds, I'm just going to use a tiny little drone like that. Look, tiny little thing, little folding DJI. Mini 4, so boosh, 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 out that comes, and I'll show you how it works. So let me pop that down for a second, and I'll come back into frame. And what I'll also do is, I'll record the screen on the controller, so you can see, I mean, you don't want to see me, but you'll see me initially here, and then what I'll do is, I'll show you the footage from the actual drone. That'll be 4K 60. And I'll do a screen recording of the remote so you can see what I'm doing and how it looks to me as a drone pilot. So as I say, I'm actually up on a hill here so I can see in every single direction. No problems whatsoever, there's no one around, no dog walkers, nothing. There was a skylark before, I can kind of hear him over there. He was way over there, so I moved because I don't want to disturb wildlife. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here just to show you a bit of the countryside. So if I do a little cheeky screen recording here. Screen, that should be it, right? So you should be able to see what the drone sees. So if I walk away from this camera and walk over here, you should see my feet. There, that's me, look. There you go, so you can see me. Now bear in mind that the sun is right behind me, so that's why I see me almost a silhouette. You're not going to see much. So if I take my sunglasses off a little bit so I actually see what the hell's going on. Let's have a look at this screen quickly here. So top right, you've got 98, that's the battery. And then you have a time indicator next to it. I'll go into that as it's flying. Then you have the RC, which is your remote control signal between me and the drone. And then you have up and down, that's your obstacle avoidance. I'm not going to go into that just yet. And then 26, that's how many GPS satellites it's locked onto, so it knows its position, because it needs to know that. So if I go into video, so we're on video, and then record, there, right. So I'll now have footage from the action cam, from that, from this, from that. Okay, I'll sync it up later. So what we'll do is hold both the sticks down, right. I'll walk up to it, you might be able to hear it. Hear that? So it's ready to go. So if I hold up, boom, there you go, it's up. And it does have obstacle avoidance, so if I fly this towards me, I'll do a walk around. So it knows that there's a tripod there, so if I go slightly over there, that's better. So can you see how wherever I am in the shot, there's a little indicator in orange there, can you see it? So as I get closer, that should turn to red. There, see how that's red now? So it knows I'm there, so if I walk around it, can you see how that's following me around? So it's saying, you're behind me now, I don't want to go anywhere near that, and it will actually actively get out of the way if I was to force it to go into me. So I'm walking around, there. And then if I walk away, the red goes, and it says, that's better. You can actually get it to do a little, there's its obstacle avoidance camera there, on the bottom left there. So that's what that sees, it's a lower version, but see how it's red? It's saying, there's someone there, I don't like it. Okay, so there, and in fact, on the bottom left there, you can see the red and the orange. So as I walk around, there'll be a red nomica on there. I'm very close, I wouldn't normally do this, but there you go. Boom, right. Let's get this back to map view. Okay, you can actually zoom out of this, so if you wanted to, you could click on there, and you could see, right, look, you can really zoom out, so you can see I'm near nothing, very safe here. And you can tell it to go to a certain area, or put in wayplans and things like that. So I'll go back to the main view. There you go. Right. So let's get up in the air a bit. So we'll go up. Bottom sort of middle there, you can see it's starting to go up there, 3.74, 5, 6. So if I angle the gimbal down so you can actually see me, you'll see how quickly it gains height. I'm going to keep this in visual line of sight. Yeah, it's over there. Perfect. So I'll put my sunglasses back on. It might help. There you go. Get them back on. Right, so let's have a little look around. So we'll angle that up. We're only at 27 meters of height there. Battery top right there, 89%, so perfect. And again, I'm looking out for any sort of wildlife because I don't want to annoy them. So I've got up and down, and I can rotate. So I can rotate or yaw, or whatever you would call it if you were a proper pilot. I'm not. There you go. So you can angle that down, have a good look around, see if there's any people. So right down there, actually, that building over there, I'll go over and have a look, so I'll gain some height in case there are anyone around. So we're going up and I'm pressing forward, so boosh, we're off. So that's quite quick. That's just a normal mode. Bear in mind you have a cinematic mode and a sport mode. So you can see that it's moving pretty quickly. So that is the site of an old colliery, I believe. Now, to the right there, you've got, well, I'll show you. I'll move the camera slightly. So over here was all the machinery and stuff. And then you have the road to the left there. But that building is all that's left. That's all that's standing. So if I bring it over here, and I'll move it in a bit there, so we'll go forward and down. Let's have a bit of a closer look. There's no one around, so it's perfectly safe to do this. And it's a sub 250 gram drone, so the only thing I need to avoid really is a specific height and crowds. So let's get a close look at that. So let's bring it down. We're at 100 meters, so here where I am with the restrictions I've got, it's 120 meters max. I think that's 400 feet. Let's angle that gimbal up a bit. So not a lot left of that. In fact, I'll show you a quick feature of this system. So if we come down nicely there, I'm not going to come down too far, so I'll bring it up a little bit. I want to be at about sort of 40-ish there, because there are some poles around here and I don't want to hit anything. So what you can do is you can use a tracking mode. So if I go into a tracking mode, I'll need to momentarily stop the recording. So stop that recording there, but you've got the screen recording there. So if I go to the modes and then I go to quick shots, in fact I don't even need to do that, that's wrong. On the middle of the screen there on the left you have a little cursor with a dot in the middle. So if I press that, it should give me 3 options. There, focus track enabled. So if I click, now you can see it's recognizing a few cars. If I move over here, you see there's a white car there. It's given me the option to track that. I can also do the same with this car, right? So if I press that, if I can catch it. No, I wasn't quick enough, right? There's one coming. So hit that. Got him. Right, boom, record, right, follow. Right, so that's now going to follow that the best it can. Now, bear in mind, it's in spotlight mode. So the drone itself isn't moving. It's like it's shining a spotlight on a specific target. So it's trying. It's still going, it's still tracking it, look. And that's pretty, there, it's lost it. It's substituted that with a GPS lock. But that's pretty impressive. So if we take this out of, now you've got active track and POI. So if we go to POI, it will look for, and I'll cancel that. It'll look for a point of interest, and then you can rotate around that specific point of interest. So can you see there, that H, that's me. I mean, I'll wave, but you won't see me. I can see the drone just, I can see it, yeah, it's over there, there. Okay, so I can see you, but you can't see me, but that H is where I am. So there is a safety feature which I'll show you in a moment, which allows you to bring that back if you needed to. I'll have to bring it back in a specific way, because there's some wildlife over there. I can see a skylark. In fact, you might be able to hear it in the mic. Anyway, so if we gimbal down a bit, where's that building? So come back a bit, there it is. So we'll pull it up a bit, boom, 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 there you go. Right, so if I want to use this mode, I should be able to. You see that? I'm drawing a cursor around that building. So I'm telling it that's what I'm interested in. It's saying, right, okay, so you're in spotlight mode. So if I now try and move, see how it's tracking it? I'm simply moving to the right. The actual rotation and target is being done by the software. So I'm simply rotating to the right, nothing else. You can see the H going down the screen there. That's where I am over there. So still in normal mode. There's a car there, I can see. So you can't actually change the gimbal there, but it will always track that in the middle. So very handy if you're after a specific thing that you want to look at. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I can see the drone over there. Perfect. So someone else is parked over there. So let's end that. So let's see if they are parking up. They are. Now, is anyone getting out of there? I don't want to spoil anyone's privacy, so I'm not going to look at that. So we'll come back to where I am. So let's say I wanted to come back home. I can actually do this automatically. So I would come out of the mode that I was in. So on the left you have an H with a down arrow. So if I press that, you've got land or return to home. Return to home. Boom. Right. So what we're going to get is, And if I walk slightly, yes, I can see it, it's coming. So that green pipe is the expected flight path of the drone as it comes back to me. So let's have a look, see if I can spot it. Yes, it's pretty, yeah, here we come. So what I'll do is I won't do anything, I'll keep my hands completely off the controls and we'll see if it's able to autonomously land. It's normally pretty good, but it doesn't necessarily have to be absolutely perfect. You can cancel at any point with that tap to cancel. So I may do that. And I can hear it in the air there. You might be able to hear it on the mic and it's coming down. So here it comes. And I can hear a guy on a bike actually. Right, that's coming down. So don't worry about that noise, that's just some people on a bike. So I'm going to come down here. Now it's off a little bit, I would say it's off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cancel that. Oh no, I'll leave it and we'll see how close it gets. Right, so that gets pretty close, almost bang on. So I've got no problems with that, that's pretty decent. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that these people on the bikes aren't going to kick off. So what I'll do is I'll stop recording just temporarily. And I will turn this off. Right, you might be able to see them in the background there, but those bike guys have gone. So right, I'll go back to what I was doing. So bear with me. Right, let's bring the screen. Let's bring the screen up. Always be aware of who's around you because they've got a right to be here just as much as I do. So as long as we're not interfering with each other. Anyway, right. So boom, we're recording that. So you should be able to see the remote. You don't want to see my ugly face there, but we'll get the. In fact, I think those motorbikes are coming back. Sod it. I'll get this up in the air and I'll show you some motorbikes. We'll change of plan. Okay, so if I angle down, you should be able to see, there you go. So I'll try and track those actually. If I can do like a tracking mode. So if I change it to, I mean active track would probably be better, but you can see it's picking up the car there, but I think it'll only pick up humans and cars, it doesn't pick up other things. I think it'll do boats as well, so let's see these guys blast off. Go on. Give it a good blast. Now see top left it's got N mode, so if I click this into sport mode, it turns off the active sort of, they're off, so I'll go back to normal. What I was going to say, I'll show you how fast this can go, but I think they seem to be off. Let's have a look. Yeah, in fact we'll go and have a look. Yeah, there they go, so we'll follow those for a bit. They forego their privacy slightly by the fact that the motorbikes are very loud, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind that. There they go. I've done this in 4K. I should have done it at 60 frames a second, which I forgot. They're quite quick, aren't they? Now they're going up that slight hill there, that bank, and then they're off up. Now where are they going to go next? Are they going to take a right? Yeah, so they're taking a right. Some of these scrambler bikes, I remember going on a bike when I was a kid and it was a nightmare. I was on the back of one and I thought, I am definitely going to die here, 100%. I didn't, but I've never been on one since. There they are. Now where they're going. Actually, did you see it try to pick up as a tracking point there? I'm going to bring the height up because I don't want to go too far. So they're coming to that crossroads there, so where they're going to go now. That actually goes up to a farm, which I'm not going to go into because, again, people's privacy. So you can see the battery there, 52%, and then they're off of the stop there. Now, you see there just momentarily it gave me an option to track. What I'll do is I'll use the return to home, which means it'll come back, because it's just over there. And what I'll do is I'll get it to track me walking about, and you'll see, and you'll say, ah, right, okay, that's quite interesting. In fact, what I'll do is I'll manually land it, if I have to. So I'll move this, which is just a method for, it makes it easier for me to see where the hell I'm landing. And you've got long grass here, so it's just a miniature drone. So it's coming back here. I'll turn video recording on so we can go to 4K and get a nice, and I'll angle the gimbal down there. So here's me. Now bear in mind, I've moved that home point and it doesn't know that. So what I can do is, I can cancel that, and then I can do it again, and then update home point to controller, which is where I'm standing. Okay, so just for future, that is right. So if I bring this down, and it is up there, so I can see it right now. It's right in front of me. I'll bring it down quickly. Forward a bit, and down, and forward, boom, boom, boom. Again, I'm recording, so you'll be able to see this. In fact, do you know what? It would help if I took that off the screen, wouldn't it? There, my apologies. Okay, so down a bit, and then we'll rotate it around a little bit. There. Right, so what I want to do is, I want to track me. So we'll stick it on active track mode, because we've got 40% battery there. So active track. I mean, it's on focus there, but obviously I'm going to change that. So I'm going to click on that, if it lets me. There you go. So focus track enabled, yeah. So I want it on that, which is me, and I want to change it to active. So active track means it is going to, and then trace wheel, yeah. So that trace wheel is something I'm not going to cover here. So if I move, now look, I'm not touching the controls, okay? I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm going to try and get away. Not possible, you see? Even if I give it a difficult task, which is the sun shining into it, that is a difficult task for it, although it is higher, technically. So you see, I can't actually, so if you had a man on the run, that would be perfect. So I'm going to try and get away here. Dad used to be a good runner before I was ill, so I can probably get away with a short run. Go for a short run around the perimeter here. Still after me. Still got me. There you go, still after me, perfect. Now if I didn't want it to go behind me, I could use this trace wheel and say, okay, I want you to go to, yes, focus, okay. So, click on the trace wheel, and I want to move it to front. So again, I'm not pressing anything, look. And if I start walking, it should be in front of me when I'm walking. See? Even if I run at this side, it doesn't matter. Or if I try and go that way and trick it, yeah, it's always going to be in front of me. So I'm going to head that direction. There, see? So pretty good, isn't it? And obviously you can change how far away it is, how close. If you wanted it closer or to change the gimbal, you could say, right, get a bit closer. Or you can use the trace wheel to say, right, I want it right in front of me. So you could walk along like a historian saying, oh yes, you see this area is, you know, abundant with history and the ancient people from over there and blah, blah, blah. So very handy. So let's see if I can, you see, even if I try and get away, I can't. Or if I run over here, nope. There is no escape. I wonder what happens if I go directly away from it. Will it adjust? Let's see. Yep. It's adjusting because it knows I'm heading that direction. And see if it does the same again. On that trace wheel, you can see I want it in front of the motion. And that's what it's doing. So if you wanted to do a walk and talk, brilliant. Only problem with this is I was going to use this in some nighttime footage for torches, but for active track to work, it's visual, it's not using microwaves or anything, or passive or whatever. It's simply working on the eye, which is great in daylight, look. I can't get away. Anyway, right, what I'll do is are there any more features? I can show you some quick shots. So we'll stop that, boom, and then stop that. Okay, so we're going back to the recording of the screen of the remote here. So you see now that's not moving anymore. So boom, close that, don't need that. Right, if I ask it to do a quick shot before the battery runs out, quick shot, right. So it's saying what sort of quick shot you want. Well, let's do a rocket. In fact, no, we'll do a boomerang, right. So there's me, so click on that, pick me. Yes, there's me. And then start. Now I'll put the remote down just so you know that I'm not cheating. And but what boomerang does is it does an ovoid type maneuver. So rather than a circle, it increases and then it comes back again. Now there's a lady walking over there, so I will bring the drone down. I don't think she'll mind, but safety first. So as soon as this is finished the shot, I'll bring it down. So it's gone way out there, and then it'll start coming back in again, so it's not a perfect circle. So again, isn't this brilliant? And you can change the gimbal there, so I can have it there. And then stop. Boom, right, so what I'll do is, I'll bring this down because there's a lady walking and I don't want to annoy her. So if this action cam is still recording, yes it is, 10 minutes, still going, boosh, right. So what I'll do is, I'll bring this down manually. I'll get out of the way of the camera, it might help. So easy to do manually without crashing obviously. There, perfect. Right, stop that screen recording. And we're laughing, so turn that off. Boom, right, so pretty good. Let me just check that this camera's still working. It is. So pretty easy, I would say, and sub 250 grams, so decent. I've taken it somewhere safe. What I'll do is I'll slap another battery in and I'll show you the church over there and maybe something else. But other than that, that's the basics. Because you know that now, I'll just fly off straight and have a look at it. So if you bear with me a few seconds, I'll change the battery. I'll leave this running just so you can see how quick that is as a process. So as a process, dead easy. Take the shot cell out, slap another one in. Well, put it in the right way, does help. See, brand new. Pop that down. Press and hold. If it lets me. Yeah, so that's booting up. And then pop that in. And we can see my ugly mug, so boosh. Right. So if we go back to, we'll go back to the recorder. So there's the recorder. And then I need to do this just so I can sync up the audio. Well, that's synced up. So that's on. We can't initiate a recording yet, I believe. So video, record, or can we? No. Yes, we can. So if I go there, you can see my feet. So what I'll do is I'll take it up and I'll go over to a church which is within visual sight. So can you see that? This isn't the best cameramanship, is it? There you go. Right, so boom. Up we go. That lady's gone, so it's perfectly safe now. Boom. Right. So if we gimbal that down a bit and get some height, and I will rotate it as well because I want to be over there. So can you see that spire there? So we're going over, well, there's basically no one around. We're going over farmland, so we're at 60, 70. You see on the bottom left the map there, that shows you a trace of where we've been, which is quite handy if you think, where's the drone again? So I can see exactly where that is. You can also change to this view, see bottom left. If I rotate the H, see the little blue triangle rotating? That shows you whether you're pointing towards the drone or not. So at that point there, I'm now pointing towards it, which means I'll get the best signal. So let's head towards the church, gimbal down nicely. And let's see what we can spot. So I can see the drone there perfectly. There's a seagull near it, but that's okay, I don't mind. They generally don't cause problems, put it that way. Okay, right, so still see it there perfectly. Right, so there's an interesting church here. Actually, this graveyard here, there was a nasty incident off on the coast. Now, if I gimbal up, you're not going to see the coast, unfortunately, due to there's like what we call a fret or sea har or whatever they would call it. The problem with that is you're not going to see what I'm going to talk about, but along there was a horrible disaster, terrible. There was so many people died, they had to do an extension to this graveyard here. So that is a graveyard on the left there. And then that church was an existing church that was already there. So I'll move over diagonally. I'm going to probably stay over the fields here. And I believe that's a school on the corner. I'm not sure. It used to be. But you can see it's quite a beautiful one there. So I'll slow this down a bit. And then we might track a car back along that road and see how that works. So I'll slowly rotate around that. I'm doing this all manually. So beautiful, beautiful place. I believe that's called Earsden or Earsden. People can correct me. I'm going to do this as a members only video, but it'll be released at some point. I can do like an automatic release now where after a certain amount of time it'll say, right, now it goes from non-members, channel members I'm talking about here, not subscribers, to the rest. So let's do a little circle around that. So if we go to active track, focus track enabled, yes, okay. So put it around the church, boom, it's got that. And it's a point of interest, but it's kind of a spotlight. So we will do I'll do point of interest, and then I'm going to go to the right. So we're still recording here. There. So I am now moving to the right, and it should keep that in the middle, which it's doing there perfectly. So I'm moving over. Because that's so quite far from the drone, it hardly looks like it's moving, but obviously it is. You see how that changed there? So that changed to a GPS marker, and it's now going a lot faster. So great shot that, absolutely great. Then I'm hoping we can use the track system, and I will track a car back along that road, because I don't want to get too far away. I can just see the drone there, and I don't want to take it out of visual line of sight. I won't do that. Yeah, I can just see it. I mean, there's no obstructions here whatsoever of any kind. You can see the H there, that's where I am. I'm just like 1.5 fields over, so it is visible. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to wait for a car now. That's the problem. So if we come out of there, stop, I'll go a little bit closer, go up a bit, and then we'll go closer and then gimbal down so we can get a nice view of this church. Really old. So yeah, there was because of that disaster, a lot of people unfortunately lost their lives in Seaton Sluice just at the coast there. So beautiful building. If you did want to do a basic rotate, you can take that off. So there's no tracking on this. I'm simply going to move into the middle, and then I'm just going to left stick, which is just a simple rotate there. So that's all that does. That's just your rotation. Pretty place. I'm glad the sun came out today eventually. Right, let's gimbal up and let's see if we can get a car. Let's see if we can hitch a car back. Right, so there's the road. Now, can you see how it's picking those cars up? It can see them, but they're parked, so we don't necessarily want to park one. So we'll come down a little. We're at about 100 feet, so we'll come down 80 foot. Let's try 65 foot, 60-ish foot. And then I'm going to move physically over to the road. There's a guy walking there with a dog by the looks of it. I'm going to leave him alone. Now, as soon as a car comes past, I have the unenviable task of trying to click on that little green dot. And then when I've clicked on the little green dot, hopefully it will follow it. So here we go. Come on, of course, no cars are going to come now. I can see one. I can see two coming the opposite direction from here. That shows you how close I actually am to the drone. So there's two coming. Yeah, there's the first one, which I'm not interested in tracking, and that one, which I'm not interested in tracking either. See, it's given me the option, but not interested. Let's bring it down to 60 meters. Come on, someone must want to drive down that road. I'll show you the lay of the land there. It's pretty beautiful. So that road will eventually bear right just out of sight there, and then come to near where I am. And then what I'll do is I'll break off from there and probably land up. Right, can I hear a car? I can see that road from here, and there's nothing. What I can do is, though, I can look up the road. Ah, here comes someone on a bicycle, which isn't really ideal. See, it's not giving me the option to track those, which is understandable. It's not designed to track people on a bicycle. I could physically do it myself manually, but that's not what this demonstration's supposed to be about. Come on, so here we go. Right, track him now. Right, no excuses. Right, track him. Yes, see the car? Right, okay. and then active. Right, I want to active track that, and I'll put it in sport mode there. Boom, sport mode. Now bear in mind, the slight problem with that is obstacle avoidance becomes unavailable. That's not an issue where I'm filming, but if you were at a specific height, it would become an issue. So I can see the car there, he's over there, I can see the road, I can see it perfectly. There's a car coming in the opposite direction, a white one by the looks of it, unless it's just the sun. So we're still following him there perfectly. None of this is done by the control here. Hopefully you'll pass that bicycle safely. And we're at a perfectly safe height here. I can see straight over where the drone is. So here he comes, still coming. You can see the H at the top right, that's where I am. Here he comes, I can see him. There's a car coming in the opposite direction. Boosh, just past him, and another one, which I can see, yeah. Still coming. And bear in mind, you've got the control wheel on the left there, so I could say go in front, go to the left, go to the right. But this is perfectly fine here, the way I'm doing it. So the H there is off to the right there, so you can see. So he's going to come around, and now he's very close there. I can see him there. He's going really slow behind a bike, which is the safest way to be, especially on a country road, because a lot of these country roads, not necessarily that one, but a lot of the country roads are 60 miles an hour here. And if you're on a bike and you go around a corner, well, not ideal, is it? So you're still tracking him. Hopefully the quality of this is decent. I've done it in 4K, or it should be. Watch this, I go back and it's 480p. Right, so you see the H, the yellow H on the right there is now descending the screen on the right hand side. We've got 31 satellites. So at some point I'm going to have to break off. There's the caravan place, which I think, did I pass that on the way in? Because I'm parked right at the top, and then he's off. So at this point I'm going to break off from him, boom, and then turn, and then you will see where I am. There, see the H? In fact, I'm in sport mode, so that's rapid there. So if we come over here, there's me. I'll come down a bit. So I don't think there's anything else I wanted to show you other than just how capable these small drones are now. The things that they can actually do is pretty impressive, you know. Now I can hear a bike, so where's that? Is it over here? Let me have a look. I think it could be a bicycle, a motorbike. No, I can hear them, but maybe not, maybe not. So I've showed you the main features. If you want to see more videos like this, I don't mind doing them. But yeah, I wasn't sure how many people would be interested in this sort of thing. I'll see how it goes and see what the subscribers, the channel members think. I can do more like this if you want walking talks or whatever with the drone, because it really is, and I know it's an overused sort of maxim, but it really is an exceptional method of seeing the world that you just cannot see any other way. Now, there's a few little gulls over there, so I'm going to move the drone. In fact, I'll bring it right down. I can hear a skylark. You might not be able to hear that though. Right, so if I rotate this around a bit, I should be able to do a return to home. Let's see what it does. Again, I'm going to do this all manually. Sorry, all automatically, I should say. I was still recording here. Let me have a little look here. Yes, we are. Right. So I'm not going to do anything. There's the remote there, you can see. I'm not going to cheat. So here it comes. Sometimes it's bang on, sometimes not. All depends. Now it looks way off, so I'm going to cancel that. You see, I'm aiming for the orange, obviously, but I'm going to cancel that. Boom, way off. So we need to nudge forward a little, and then down. And then to the left a little bit, and down. Forward a little touch, tiny little touch forward. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, not bad, eh? Not bad. Right, so if I stop that recording, and then pop them down, and then I'll talk to the camera. Right, so here I am. I'm back. Let's redo that. Let's rejig that. Right, so thanks for joining me. Hopefully this isn't too long. I mean, if you want me to do a longer one, I will. I'll burn through batteries if you want, or show you different sites or different historical places and talk about them. Because obviously, I mean, although you saw me running there, it does actually still cause me pain until the doctors get their finger out. So walks, I can do them, but it's the what comes with that. What pain and misery is going to come with that? This is the thing, and it builds up over time, and then I'm like, it's terrible. But anyway, there you go. So thanks for joining me. If you want longer ones, let me know. If you thought this was rubbish, let me know. It's channel members only who are going to see this first, and then maybe a week later I'll release it to the general public, because That's a new feature that YouTube have got. I've got a few lights. I've got 2 more lights to look at. I think I just did the MCT from it's Nightcore, wasn't it? I was under an NDA for that one for ages, and they kept saying, we're not going to release it, we're not going to release it yet. No, wait another week, wait another month. So I had that for ages, so, which is actually a good thing, because it means that my final review was super mega like accurate and honest. I was able to check everything, and a great little light, really good for hikers. Ultralighters might not want that, but I think for the general public, really good. As usual, Nightcore doing good stuff. Right, that's probably boring for people who are watching this who are interested in drones, but a lot of my channel is tools, flashlights, hiking, things like that. Anyway, right, thanks for joining me. I'm going to turn this camera off because you've had enough of my mug. Right, good night.